What is going on, Crimson City? My name is Crimson CBAD, and welcome back to Week 12 of the GBA, the Global Battle Association. I am here today as the coach of your Detroit Steel Wings. We are going up against, in our final match of the season, against John, aka PokeMEN, and the New Orleans Pelippers. So if you guys are excited, be sure to show some love to that like button, and as always, if you guys are new to the city, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Now, you guys don't see my pretty face on the screen, and it's because my webcam isn't working. I should have a new one in on Monday or Tuesday, I believe. I gotta double check that. Tuesday at the latest, I believe the email said. So there is no webcam in this video. So unfortunately, I do apologize about that. If you did come here for the face, but we're not talking about my face. We're talking about Pokemans. So there was no in-depth team builder. I did not have the time to record it. I did build a team. I just did not have the time to record a builder. So I think I've worked like 60 hours in like the past 4 days. It's insane. But, so we have Roserade here, Life Orb Technician, Giga Drain, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power, Fire, and Sludge Bomb. Giga Drain is going to be able to hit things like the Don Fan. Giga Drain is going to be able to hit things like the gosh darn, what else is there? What else is there? You guys are about to see this, and I apologize. Just move this over here. That probably messed up the recording, I hope not. I just wanted to get some notes for you guys. I'm throwing this together last minute. Shout out to John. John and I have such busy lives that last season we couldn't even battle because we both were busy. But this is actually, you guys are seeing this live Sunday at 4 p.m. and this is, or maybe not 4 p.m. depending on YouTube processing. But we just got done battling actually about an hour ago. So at 151 Timid Speed, we are outspeeding Florges, Domfan, Chandelure, Sock, Reuniclus, Lantern, Pilliswine, and Mega Scissor. Giga Drain will do damage to the Lantern and the Donphan as well as the Pilliswine as well. We do have Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is going to be able to hurt the Hydreigon and the Sock as well as the Virizion. Sludge Bomb is also going to do the same thing to the Virizion as well as the Florges. And Hidden Power Fire is going to be there. We can do damage to the Virizion, but we do have Sludge Bomb for that. And Hidden Power Fire will definitely be able to hurt the Mega Scissor should he decide to bring it. We do have such a weird EV spread just because we do have 30 in EVs, and we're calculating at level 50, so nothing much to say about that. We do have Choice Scarf Latios, 252 special attack, 164 speed, 92 HP with a timid nature at 164 plus speed. With a timid nature, we are outspeeding a timid Scarf Hydreigon because, again, I don't want anybody taking advantage of my Dragon weakness this late in the season, now that I've identified that people do that. Dragon Pulse for the Hydreigon, it also is Stab. Psyshock will hit everything outside of the Hydreigon pretty well, Donphan included. Super effective damage on the Sock and the Virizion. Energy Ball is going to be able to do damage to the Donphan, the gosh darn Lantern, and the Pilliswine as well. And Shadow Ball for the Chandelure and for the Reuniclus as well. We are bringing dual Scarf offense this week. This will be our physical Scarfer. We do have 84 base speed, Choice Scarf, Moxie, Crocodile, Earthquake, Knockoff, Airlace, and Beat Up. Beat Up just because I didn't really want another moveset on there, so I was like, you know what, let's just bring it in case we can pull off some shenanigans. Earthquake and Knockoff for Stab, Airlace for Virizion. Beat Up, like I said, for the shenanigans. 84 with a Choice Scarf. We are outspeeding a Timid Raikou with this set. Next up, we do have Cradilly. Cradilly's our special wall this week. Toxic, Stealth Rock, Recover, and Giga Drain. Max HP, max special defense. I figure if he leads off with Donphan, I lead off with this thing. I handle that thing really well. I can go for a Giga Drain right off the bat. I can set up my rocks to get some chip damage on his team. Storm Drain for the water immunity should he bring the Lantern, so we can't just go for those free Scalds. Next up, we do have Streamers. We have a very bulky, especially offensive Streamers with Calm Mind, Scald, Hidden Power Grass, and Shadow Ball. The plans do the same thing like last time against John. Bluff the Crocoon set, Leftovers, and Calm Mind. Scald for Stab. It's also going to be able to get some burn damage off on everything except for a Water Absorb Lantern. Hidden Power Grass. Well, Hidden Power Grass is especially for the Lantern just because outside of that I can't really hit it. Shadow Ball will be for the gosh darn Reuniclus. So last up, Winchester. I'm really hoping I'm able to pull off some shenanigans with this. Eviolite, Frisk, Max HP. This is kind of like this is like a weird set that I threw together. Will-O-Wisp, Pain Split, Calm Mind, and Ominous Wind. I figure if we can get a 10% boost on Ominous Wind, that's just, it is what it is. I wanted to bring that just because I was going to have some fun. It's my last week of the GBA. So max HP, max defense. We can Willow any physical threats. We can hopefully get an Ominous Wind boost, Calm Mind up. Definitely going to be something cool. So this is our team builder, like I said, and now we are here with, let me, There we go, transitions. I'm learning how to content create all over the place. So, we do have our battle right here against me and John. I am going to play this normal. He leads off with his Reuniclus, and I'm going to lead off with Audrey 2. I do want to go ahead and set up Stealth Rocks. There's not much this thing can do to me, except hit me with a Focus Blast. I'm especially defensive, so I would have been able to take that well. He goes for it. I predict another Focus Blast incoming, so I'm going to switch out into my Dusclops. See that he's rocking AV Reuniclus, goes for a Shadow Ball. Does about 30%, and I get the SPDF drop, so I don't want to stay in. So, switch back out to Audrey 2. We see that that Shadow Ball does about 15%, which is fine by me. Like I said, I'm very specially defensive. I go for a Toxic here. I miss that because if he is Regenerator, then that will be able to do some damage to him. But he goes for a Psyshock there. Does a fair amount of damage. He withdraws. He goes out in a Hydreigon here, which is good for him. I predicted him to go for a Focus Blast after getting some chip damage off with Psyshock, so I did just go for the recover there. He does go for the U-turn. I do believe he's a Scarf set. We did not see any Life Orb damage on that thing. Goes out into Haynes. I am able to get the Toxic damage off on this thing. I believe he is choiced in some way, bringing it out like this. I'd say with that damage, I believe it was a banded knockoff, so he is able to get my leftovers out of here. I go for the Giga Drain after Rocks, after Toxic damage, after the Giga Drain. Sock is under 50%, which is really good for us. He withdraws, and he goes out into Virizion. Now here, I stayed in and went for the recover. I figured if he's choiced in a knockoff, I can't do much. You know, he's not going to be able to do much. So I switch out, and I hard switch into the Latios. I can take the close combat. This thing is at -1 special defense. He does not want to stay in on me, so he switches out into his Reuniclus. Now, the Shadow Ball would have been the best play here, but I did just go for the Dragon Pulse. It was my safest bet just in case he did go into something bigger and badder than that. I'm going to switch back out on Audrey 2. He goes for the Future Sight on the Cradilly, which is... I did not see that coming. I did not see that coming. That's why it's Future Sight. So, predicts the Toxic. He goes back out into the Sock. Gets the Toxic damage off. He's going to go straight up for a close combat. That is going to knock out Audrey 2, unfortunately. So, because I believe him to be choiced, I'm going to go out into Dusclops here. And we're going to see that he is choiced. So, he's going to go for the close combat. Obviously, I do not get hit by close combat. I'm just going to start setting up Calm Minds on this thing. Because I do have one more turn available. Should he switch, should he stay in, I can just go for another Calm Mind. He goes out into the Hydreigon. I am able to get up to +2/+2. Now here, I did anticipate him to go for a Dark Pulse, so I went for the Pain Split to hopefully get some damage off, but nope. So I get flinched. I'm going to go for another Pain Split here. He does get the crit. The crit did matter, and it did knock me out, unfortunately, so... we can go into Roserade here. I am able to go for a Dazzling Gleam should he want to. He actually just switches in the Sock to sack it off 2 rocks, so we are going to reveal the Dazzling Gleam, and we are not going to be able to kill anything. Goes out into Blobby. I really don't want to take a Psyshock, so I'm going to switch out of this thing, and I'm going to go into Crocodile just so I can get a knockoff. He goes for a Shadow Ball. Very, very safe play. Very, very safe play. He couldn't risk going for a Psyshock, and I get a free switch into my Crocodile, so I'm just going to go for a knockoff here. We see it does about 30%. We do knock off the Choice Scarf off the Hydreigon as well. Now, we were not going to be able to outspeed. He could have went for some sort of... He could have U-turned on us, which would have been huge, huge, huge damage. But he does U-turn out on the Latios. I do bring it in because that's what he wants to do. He's got the Raikou out here. I am just going to go for a Psyshock. I know I'm faster than this thing. He's just going to go for an HP Ice, knock me clean out of the park. So, it's not looking good for us. 5-3 right now, John's lead. I'm going to go back into the Crocodile here. And I do predict the switch out of the Raikou. He does not want to take an Earthquake, so I go for a knockoff. I am able to get rid of the Donphin's leftovers, which is good news for us. So that way this thing has no recovery. And I can go into Streamers here because Donphin can't really do much to us. So, goes for an Earthquake. We get our leftovers recovery. All is good. All is good, all is fine. So I'm just going to fire off a Scald, really, because whatever switches in, if I can get it burned, that's some more chip damage that I can get off on his team. But he does go out into the Reuniclus here. So now it's the question of... what am I going to do against this thing? So I'm just going to switch out to Crocodile, predicting a Psyshock. He makes the correct play, goes for a Focus Blast, connects the Focus Blast, and knocks out my Crocodile. So I'm going to go back out into Streamers here. I can go for Shadow Balls. If I wanted to go for Calm Minds, I could, but I'm just going to go straight for the damage. I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here to take it out. I do get the Special Defense drop. He goes for the Future Sight. So now I need to worry about how well my Suicune can handle a Future Sight attack. So... he brings in the Donphan. I go for another Shadow Ball here. That brings him down within range of another Shadow Ball or a Scald even. Scald would have definitely knocked this thing out. I just go for the Scald. I'm able to pick up the Donphan, so rocks are staying on his side of the field now. I do take the Future Sight attack. It does about 43%, and then I gain 6% back from the leftover. So it did about high 30%. goes for the Leaf Blade with the Virizion. He's able to take me out here, so I'm thinking, okay, what does the Virizion know that can do some major damage to a Roserade? But he's got Zen Headbutt, and that is going to knock me clean out of the park. It is going to be a 4-0 win in favor of the New Orleans Pelippers. If you guys have enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like on this video. Like I said, leave a comment down below if you would have done something differently, if you thought anything about the team preparation. All that being said, I will see you guys next week for a little recap video for our GBA season and where do we go from here. All that being said, my name is Crimson CBAD, and I'll talk to you all soon. Later.